Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wayne's World of Science and Technology. Today we're going to talk Trumponomics. The problem is where to begin with this. Let's, I guess, start with the tariffs. The tariffs really are having a negative impact on the United States. Basically, tariffs are a tax, and the tax is paid by the end user. So everybody in the United States is now paying more for things. The tariffs have been very badly implemented, in my opinion. In some cases, they probably were justified. In other cases, well, how should I put it? The United States is a superpower in a lot of things. They are not a superpower when it comes to tropical foods, like bananas, tea, coffee. Yeah, you get it. They just can't make the stuff because the environment isn't suitable for growing. So, tariffing that stuff is, quite frankly, fucking stupid. Because you're not going to move the production back to your country. It's going to have zero effect. So, we're seeing a huge set of inflationary pressures hitting the American public. Now, this is where things get really fun, because I'm at the point where I no longer trust numbers coming from the United States government. I have a suspicion that they may be fiddling the books. They wouldn't be the first country to do this, but in their case, it's probably going to have... Okay, this is where I'm playing games because I don't know enough. But I think that the way they're doing it is going to have really, really, really bad impacts. Whereas, well, the Chinese one's going to have really bad impacts too, but that's for another video. The second point about Trumponomics is the 51st state rhetoric. Now, that really pissed off a lot of people up here. And the 41 million of us used to buy a hell of a lot of stuff from the United States. People have canceled their subscriptions. I canceled my Disney Plus subscription. I don't buy stuff from Amazon anymore. Basically gave up on it because, well, yeah, it was nice and convenient, but damned if I'm going to put money in Jeff Bezos' pocket. Not after him backing Trump. So, and Trump, of course, doing the 51st state rhetoric. This also impacted a lot of other people. Greenland got the Danes pissed off. It also got the Greenlanders pissed off. And it got us pissed off too because we have a border with Denmark, a shared border. And quite frankly, we get along well with the Danes, even though we fought a 20-year war with them, which mostly involved pickled livers. Look up the whiskey war between Canada and Denmark. It's... Basically, we'd go out, plant a flag, leave a bottle of whiskey, take their flag and their bottle of whiskey, and they'd come back and do the same thing to ours. Yeah, it was quite a fun war. But we get along with the Danes. We aren't happy with what they're doing to Greenland, to the Danes. The Danes aren't happy with what they're doing with what is being done to them, and they're not happy with what's being done to us. I've talked to a lot of people in England and Australia, Germany, France, and quite frankly, the basic impression I get is that most people think that Trump is a total lunatic who is either senile or so delusional that everything he does is ass backwards. Okay, next point. His push to sell more military equipment to Europe, saying, okay, we'll sell you anything you want and you can send it to Ukraine, figuring, oh, we're going to make lots of money. Well, yeah, you're going to make money in the short term. But in the meantime, you so piss people off that a lot of countries have basically said, oh, United States? Now, that's the last place we're buying military equipment from. And that's going to hit the military industrial businesses in the United States really heavily, because more than half of their production is exported. Yeah, I'm serious. They export that much. And when I say more than half, that's my own current memory of the numbers. I might be a little bit off. It might be a bit less than half. It might be a bit more, but it's about that. So this is going to have a really huge impact on them. There's a lot of companies that are trying to figure out what to do. Some are moving into the United States. Some are moving out. I know of a couple which have moved out. I know of a couple which have moved in. The ones that have moved from the United States to Canada, generally Canadians are willing to accept them. The ones that move from the Canada to the United States, well, there's a couple of those companies are really hurting right now for Canadian sales. But the U.S. market is bigger, so that's their choice. On the other hand, they're getting tariffed when they ship their goods into the U.S., so there is that as well. The United States is trapped in a lot of ways. And when I say trapped, because of its geographical position, it has to deal with Mexico and Canada. And when I say it has to, they don't have the infrastructure to be able to bring in a lot of the stuff that they're getting from the United States and Canada from other countries. From Mexico and Canada from other countries. The United States just did not set up their infrastructure that way because they didn't need to. Why would they waste money on it? Now, this is, of course, hitting Mexico and Canada, too, because we also didn't set up our infrastructure to bypass them. But, and this is where the but comes in, we are probably slightly better off, at least in Canada. I'm not sure about Mexico's position on this because I don't know everything they make. But Canada makes a lot of stuff that nobody else touches. And we're damn good at it. When I say we make a lot of stuff, some of it's pretty high tech, some of it's middle of the road. But we have a fairly large manufacturing sector that produces a lot of stuff. We also have a very heavy resource sector, which produces a lot of stuff. And almost all of our resources, with the exception of some types of oil, can be sold anywhere. And when I say with the exception of some types of oil can only be refined in certain types of refineries. So you can't sell them everywhere. But natural gas, yeah, they'll go just about anywhere right now. It's going to be really interesting seeing the next couple of years play out because I've been looking at the plans that the government of Canada has put forward for infrastructure investments to improve things, and quite frankly, they look reasonable. I will be doing a video on exactly what the Canadian federal government is doing and what I can find out about what the provincial governments and territorial governments are doing. Never mind our First Nations governments, and that's going to be real fun since we got over 630 First Nations. But I can probably get a reasonable idea by talking to a few of the major First Nations where they're, going on this. But I can guarantee you that they are not happy with the United States right now. I've heard from a couple of them already, and yeah. Exactly what they're planning, though, who knows? So my personal take is that Trumponomics is a total bust. It is quite probably going to put the United States into recession. How bad it gets beyond that, I really don't know. His big tax cuts blew the deficit through the roof, and that is going to be an issue. If they don't roll back those tax cuts, basically, they can't afford to do much of anything. The United States won't have the money. So it's a really difficult situation trying to predict it. I know that there's a hell of a lot of problems with the way it's being done, but I don't know how bad it's going to get. I know it's going to get bad, though. I can tell you that for sure. Anyways, that's all for now, folks. Like, share, and subscribe if you got something out of this, and have a good day.